Hi, everybody. My name is Zach Pike. This is my Python scripting final for CSC 443. For my final scripting project for Python, I've chosen to create a tournament style bracket generator, a random generator that will take a user's input and fill out the bracket all the way to a final winner. Obviously, the usefulness this time of year, it's March, and I guess I'm caught up in that somewhat, and this seemed like a useful thing with all of the bracket games and challenges that are around. Having something to generate picks for you could be a useful tool if you enter these kinds of things. Um, so going through my code here, just a little space at the top. I import my required libraries for this. Really, I'm just working out of lists, and I'm randomly generating or selecting one of the values from a list. So I have to import the random library, and I have a couple pauses, like timed pauses in the code. So I import that time library as well. So going through, it prompts the user to enter the first teams in a matchup. I've chosen to do an 8-team tournament just for the sake of not having this be too long. Obviously, it's expandable out into 64 would be ideal. But for this demonstration, it's 8 teams. So the user's prompt for the first 2 teams, it's set to store that for I in a range of 2. It will prompt the user for that input, any value, string or integer. Here we're entering college names more than likely. It could be anything though. So it will be an integer value for each of those, and then it appends it into a list. And then I have it print out the supplied inputs, and then it does that for the first round. So an 8-team tournament would have 4 matches in round 1, 2 matches in round 2, and then a 1 match in round 3, which would be the championship match. So as we go down here, at the end of, after all the values are collected for those first 4 matches in round 1, I have it print those out. Oh, before it prints them out, I use the random.choice on that list that the user input created the match R1M1, so round 1 match 1 list for those 2 teams. Random choice picks one of the values randomly and assigns it to a R1M1 winner variable, and then it displays that for the user so they can see who won that match. And then it will come down to round 2. Since round 2 will consist of 2 matches, match 1 and match 2, but those teams are supplied by the answers, by those random generations from the choice and round 1 match 1 and round 1 match 2. That will then become round 2 match 1. And then that library or that list can be defined down here manually, which you can see here. And the same process is repeated down here until we get to round 3, our championship match, and it displays our winner and gives it a few seconds and times out. So the next thing I will do is I'll demonstrate my script here. So the first team we'll enter is the team I picked to win it all this year, which is Duke. We'll have them play SDSU. Not realistic, but fine. Florida State, Texas Tech, Michigan, and University of Virginia. These aren't the real matchups, but any value will work here. And then lastly, let's say UNC and Kentucky. And hit enter, and it will show you the random generations for the first round winner. SDSU beat Duke, upset of the year. Texas Tech, Michigan, and Kentucky. So then now we're into round 2, and I have it printing showing the matchup and then also showing the winner. So SDSU and Texas Tech, Michigan and Kentucky. SDSU is going to the championship along with Michigan, and ultimately Michigan is our tournament champion. So it's a sort of, it's not overly complicated. However, it leaves a lot of room to be expanded into something like a formatted input, a formatted list as an input of all the teams. So then you could just generate and define. And if you could format the output, you could see how this could become much more useful if you were just generating bracket after bracket, trying to win one of those large pools with unlimited entries. You could see an application for this, how that could be useful. So again, that's my Python scripting final. Thanks for watching.